Feels like March, I'm telling you. Jump shot. Good for Johnson. The Knights kicks it back out top. They work it around the horn now. 3, Wedding. Yes! 19 variety. 3 from the left wing. That one splits back out. Big rebound, big putback underneath. But Douglas on this defense right now, they're on them like glue. Long 3. That one goes down. First table, it came in a little late, and I didn't have a chance to copy it down. Here's Ben Johnson for a 3. Good! And he's talking. He was talking as he went back up the floor. Ben Johnson again. Johnson's been tabbed the best player in Lexington so far, and that comes Ben Johnson again. Johnson's been tabbed the best player in Lexington so far, and that first table, it came in a little late, and I didn't have a chance to copy it down. Here's Ben Johnson for a 3. Good! And he's talking. He was talking as he went back up the floor. Feels like March, I'm telling you. Jump shot. Good for Johnson. There's a drive baseline kicking it out. Johnson open for the 3. It's up, it's good. Knights. Inside, Johnson creating, up off the glass. He knew. Nice drive to the hoop, running everything through Ben. Ben tries to spin, picked up his ball and got it to fall. My goodness. Did you just see that? How did he do that? Game, which is the championship game of the Traditional Bank Holiday Classic. Johnson, very floor from this very gym, the Buter Gymnasium. Johnson, left hand. Very floor from this very gym, the Buter Gymnasium. Johnson, left hand. Knights on the run, count it, and he's back.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the championship game of the Lexington Catholic Traditional Bank Tournament. Gary Ball, William Warfield, the King of Stream. We're set for number 1 and number 2. That's right, folks. It's not often you can get the collision course of these two teams. RPIs have Lexington Catholic 10-0 record. They are number 1 in the RPI that came out today. Madisonville North Hopkins, they are 11-1 under Matt Bashir. course, Lexington Catholic, coached by Brandon Salzman, and Madisonville North Hopkins 11-1, and they are number 2 in the current RPI. So it's number 1 and number 2 doing battle here tonight at Buter Gymnasium here on the campus of Lexington Catholic, and we'll set the starting lineups and give you the call of this game. It's tonight on PrepSpin. The Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week is on PrepSpin.com, the king of stream. And Gary Ball here courtside. We're set for the big game here tonight between Madisonville North Hopkins and Lexington Catholic. And William, it's not often you get number 1 and number 2, but you know, when it doesn't matter the polls you look at, the RPI does not lie. It tells you what your ranking is depending on who you've played, what their record is, what the scores were. It's the best ranking there is going today, and it's the RPI, and this is number 1 and number 2 here in the RPI.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When we saw those rankings released today, we were amazed. You know, you alerted me to it at first, and I was like, man, we got number 1 taking on number 2 here tonight.
In the state.
In the state, yeah. I mean, and what is there, 272 total schools that are ranked there, and these two happen to be the top 2.
Exactly, and Madisonville North Hopkins, folks, they are the real deal. Kenny White is explosive, 6'7" senior, averages 20 points, 8 rebounds, and they got the big guy, Keyshawn Stone. He also has Keyshawn Casey, 6'9". Stone plays at guard. Casey, 6'9", averages nearly a double-double for this Madisonville North Hopkins team, and he is a load down there. And I tell you what, I don't know if he played football, but just looking at him physically, he should have played.
Well, yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. So far, every team that I've seen him play out there, nobody has been able to contain him. Nobody's been able to stomp him at all, and he's had some big numbers here in this tournament so far. Just a big frame out there, and, you know, when he backs you down, Gary, it's over.
They've got some other weapons, too. Dejon Johnson. Dejon is a 6'5" junior. He averages 10 points. You got Marquise Parker averaging 5 points. Stone, we talked about, the senior guard. He averages 10 points, shoots 84% from the line. But when you talk about Lexington Catholic, you have to start with Ben Johnson. He was the leading scorer in the 11th region until the kid from LCA took over that spot just a week or so ago by 1 point. But Ben is still in the hunt for the region scoring title. He is a 6'3" junior, averaging 25 points, and the leading rebounder on this night's basketball team.
Yeah, and I don't want to look ahead, but those two teams face each other on Tuesday night, by the way, LCA and Lexington Catholic, that big rivalry game that we'll have right here on PrepSpin. But yeah, Ben Johnson's having an outstanding season right now, man. You know, he's doing things out there. He certainly is, you know, a candidate now, I believe, for 2021's Mr. Basketball.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to forget that because he is probably the best in his class, Gary Ball. I've looked up and down everybody else's stats so far this season, and nobody stands out to me other than Ben Johnson.
And the thing about Ben is everybody knows he's going to score, and he comes into a game with all this talent around him. But, you know, Luke Wedding is another young man shooting 48% from three-point. He loosens it up, so if they give too much attention to Ben, Luke Wedding's going to knock him down.
Yeah, and he's done an outstanding job. Just yesterday, you know, he bailed out Lexington Catholic quite a few times. You know, Ben would drive, he'd kick it out to Luke, and Luke would bury those threes out there. So, yeah, it kind of reminds you of some of the former Lexington Catholic talent that you've seen over the years, all combined into this team. It's kind of like Salzman took everybody that was good over the last 10 years, shook them all up in a can, and this is the product you got out here. They're 11-0, Gary Ball.
That's a good way to put it, because I told him the exact same thing on my show a week or so ago. I said, Coach, it's like a throwback team. He said, yes. He said, we went back to the 90s.
Yeah.
And I told my kids, we may not be in the 1990s, but this is your team, and what do you want to do with it is your choice. So, and I tell you what, this Lexington Catholic team, they're for real. They open a lot of eyes when they open the season right here against Covington Catholic, a game you did on a Wednesday night, and they beat Covington Catholic by 1 point, and that is the reason that this Lexington Catholic team is riding this tidal wave, so to speak, into one of the top rankings. Right now they're ranked 5th in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah, ranked number 5 in the state of Kentucky, but I got a feeling, you know, if they get that big win tonight, that could change, Gary Ball. They may be moving up in that ranking. You know, obviously the RPI's got them favored to number 1 right now, but, you know, I mean, this team is good, and this Madisonville North Hopkins team, they're really daggone good too.
They're very good. They've got Kenny White. He's 6'7".
He showed out last year. Remember the Sweet 16?
Oh yeah,
that was his come out party.
He was dunking all over everybody in the Sweet 16, and I tell you what, this year though, the difference that he's doing, Jared Peck. I talked to Jared with the hair leader, and he told me the difference is you're going to see in him this year is he can stick to 20, 25 footer this year. He wasn't doing that last year. He was taking it to the rack and dunking over people.
Yeah, he was doing that. He didn't really have a. He's got that nice turnaround jump shot now, kind of like that fade back a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of reminds me of that Jordan fade. So maybe he's been studying some Michael Jordan films. Who knows? But certainly has improved his game. He's stood out so far in this tournament. They got a nice little guard out there on their team too, Gary. That gets the ball to those fellas. That's quick up and down the court, and obviously a shot blocker too. When you talk about shot blocker, number 3 there for Madisonville North Hopkins. I mean, he's right there too. He's blocked so many shots this game. So I mean, they're the complete package.
And they got Big Casey, 6'9" down below, and he's got the wide body. So Lexington Catholic's going to have their hands full tonight. There's no doubt about it. This is the championship game of the Traditional Bank Classic with William Warfield, Gary Ball, and we appreciate you tuning in tonight, all you folks on PrepSpin.com, and William's got another player he wants to talk about.
Yeah, I got a couple guys from Lexington Catholic that I really do need to, actually 3 of them that I really need to holler about out there tonight and give them some recognition. Jake Goldman has done an outstanding job this tournament and all season long, as a matter of fact. But then Peyton Pelfrey as well. He stood out. Jackson Smith's contributed off the bench a little bit for him.
He sure has.
Yeah, he's done a really good job doing that, kind of being the 6th man for Lexington Catholic.
You've got to have that 6th man. To be a good basketball team, you've got to have a 6th man, a 7th man, an 8th man, and I think Catholic's got all those.
And Ryan Russell's knocked down some shots in this tournament too. You got to give him credit where credit's due.
So it's Lexington Catholic and Madisonville North Hopkins, number 1 and number 2 in the RPI rankings that came out today. This is the top 2 teams in the state of Kentucky, and they're going to do battle here at Lexington Catholic. And we'll be back after this timeout with the starting lineups. It's Madisonville North Hopkins, number 2, Lexington Catholic, number 1.
That familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And a moment of silent breath, thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And the reward after. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingy moment.
Hi, this is Gary Ball for Crown Trophy of Lexington. Crown Trophy offers youth sports awards, corporate awards. They offer signs and a full line of promotional products. They're located at 2680 Wilhite Drive on the corner of Nicholasville, New Circle Road, just behind Starbucks. Stop by and pick up your copy of our 85-page catalog. Crown Trophy is nationally known, but locally owned with 150 stores nationwide. Crown Trophy, the official provider of plaques for the Scholastic Ball Report and PrepSpin.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Over 30,000 Kentuckians are saving time and money by doing their banking online with Whitaker Electronic Banking.
341,000 transactions were made on the go last year using the Whitaker Bank mobile app.
Over 340,000 text alerts were sent last year with Whitaker Bank text banking.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky. By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
Whitaker Bank supports 956 Kentucky charities and community events.
Employees of Whitaker Bank volunteered 14,860 hours to better our Kentucky communities.
93 nonprofits that promote diversity and inclusion in Kentucky are supported by Whitaker Bank.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
And we're back here at Buter Gymnasium. The starting lineups are going to be announced, so we're going to throw it down to the public address announcer for the starting lineups. Bob Eads in the house tonight. William Warfield, the former coach at Paris High School and baseball umpire, Bob Eads. And here's the starting lineups for you tonight. Madisonville, North Hopkins first, the visitors on the scoreboard. Kenny White, starting forward, averaging 20 points. Keyshawn Stone, a 5'11 senior, averaging 10 points. DeJuan Johnson, the 6'5 junior, averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds. Marquise Parker, a 5'11 senior, averages 5 points, 4 assists a game. Keshawn Casey, 6'9 senior, averaging 14 points and 9 rebounds, nearly a double-double. That's the big guy for Madisonville North Hopkins. They bring an 11-1 record in, coached by Matt Bashir, the outstanding coach at Madisonville North Hopkins. Now for the Knights homestanding team for the Lexington Catholic High School. And as we get the video presentation there done by King of String, William Warfield, we will have the starting lineups tonight. And the starters look like it's going to be Jack Goman, 6'4". You know, the thing about it, you got a big Madisonville North Hopkins team size-wise. You got a big team for Lexington Catholic as well. When I give you some of these sizes, you'll see what I mean. Ben Johnson is 6'3". He's a junior, averaging 25.8 points a game. One of the leading scorers in the state of Kentucky. And nearly 6 rebounds a game. Jack Goman, 6'4", averaging 10 points. Also Peyton Pelfrey, he's a 6'4 senior, averaging 7 points. And Jackson Smith, 6'4 senior, 6 points. And Luke Wedding, the outstanding shooter, 48%, 6'4 senior, 10 points a game. And Ben Johnson, 6'3", he's a junior. As William Warfield said, he will be a Mr. Basketball candidate next year when he enters his senior campaign, the younger brother of Tanner and Luke Johnson, 2 outstanding players here at Catholic. Jumping up, it will be Casey at 6'9". He will go up against Wedding at 6'4". You see North Hopkins in their maroon uniforms, Catholic in the home white with the blue numerals, blue trim. And the tap is controlled. Coming down with it is Kenny White.
Let's do this, Gary Ball. This is what I've been waiting for all day long.
Down low to Casey. Left hand, no good. Gets it back, puts it up, no. And then third attempt. I tell you what, if you fail once, try again. It's 2-0.
This may be a situation where, you know, they're going to keep feeding the big guy down low, but you're going to have to just let him get his points and try to stop everybody else, Gary Ball, because you're not going to be able to stop him.
Goman swings it back around Smith. They line up a 3 out front, won't go for Wedding. Stick it back out, and here's a shot on the left side, won't go, and it's going to go over the top of the backboard. So out of bounds, it'll go to Madisonville North Hopkins. They got a good shot over there by Goman.
Yeah, Goman, if he can get open, he can drain those. But you know, contested, sometimes they're tough when you got bigger guys on.
Stone gives it now to Johnson. He runs over top. Good defense by Lexington Catholic as he ran over top of the Knights, Jackson Smith, and picked up the personal.
Yeah, Jackson Smith. He's good about being in the right place at the right time. That time he had his feet planted and was able to take the charge.
47 charges is the record here at Lexington Catholic, and they think they're going to break that this year. They really do.
Yeah, very, very possible.
That's by one player, by the way. Left side, they give it up now, and they give back to Ben Johnson. Lines up to 3, off the mark. Tapped around, coming out of there with it is Kenny White. White double team, and Johnson stripped it out of there, but it goes out of bounds. They're going to give it back to North Hopkins.
Salzman was trying to get the call there, but the official right on top of it.
So putting the ball in play will be Marquise Parker, and he gets it out to Stone. Stone angles down the right side to the basket, throws it off forward, no good. And there's Casey battling again, powers it up, no, and draws the foul. That's going to be a problem for Catholic tonight.
Yeah, all night long.
Keyshawn Casey, Foul went on Pelfrey. That's his first. And at the line will be Casey, the 6'9" senior. Does he look 6'9", William?
Oh, no, he looks 7'5".
Missed the free throw. It's 2-0. North Hopkins of Madisonville on top of Lexington Catholic. Number 1 and number 2 in the RPI rankings battling here tonight in front of a good crowd here. As you can see on our PrepSpin camera angle, and that's going to be a free throw rolls in there for Casey. He's got all 3 points.
Got one of the two at the line there.
Missed the first one. Hands it now to Ben Johnson on the left side. Johnson works it down on the dribble, comes back toward the middle, gets a pick, gives it back now to Smith, and he goes to Goman, back to Smith, and it's stolen away by Kenny White.
Well, you saw 4 defenders close that pass up really quick. It's going to be hard to get anything inside the paint against this.
That's going to be a reaching on Ben Johnson.
Against this Madisonville North hardened team.
Second foul against Catholic, first foul against Ben Johnson. I tell you, that's a problem when you put Ben Johnson on the star player, Kenny White. You worry about his foul problem situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's his first foul, 3-0. White from the lane, free throw, drives in, throws it up and in. Boy, that's a tough shot by White under a lot of duress, and he knocked it down.
A little double pump.
Double clutch. 5-0, Madisonville North Hopkins. Out top it comes to Jackson Smith. He hands it over to Jack Goman. Goman, they swing it back around to Pelfrey. Back over to Ben Johnson. Ben toward the basket, stops from 15 and clutches, rolls out. He had to alter the shot a little bit, and through all that clutching and everything, he missed it.
Yeah, White might be the second coming of Allie Houston here in the state of Kentucky. You know how good Houston was.
Yeah, and Ballard wore the same colors as this Madisonville North Hopkins team. That's kind of ironic. Give it to Casey. They kick it over now to Stone. He lets a 3 go. Got it!
Ooh, and that looked like, when he released it, it looked like it was going to be behind the backboard, but it had that little curve on it and landed in the perfect spot.
8-0. A great start for Madisonville North Hopkins, and it's going to be a foul on the drive by Johnson, and that foul's going to go on Parker.
It's going to be Parker's first.
Team second. It's 5:29 to go, and Catholic looking to score their first basket.
You got people lined up in the hallway again here tonight. Is over on the right side. It's a bunch of people just standing in the hallway trying to check this game out.
With it is Jack Goman. Over goes to Ben Johnson, left side free throw line extended, gets a pick, goes to it. Left now takes it to the basket, lays it up and in. Boy, that's a nice. He just kind of hesitated, and at that point the defender didn't have a shot. He laid it up and in.
It's that nice little hesitation step that he's got.
Stone gives it back now over to White, and left side it goes, and that shot won't go there for Johnson, and rebounded by the other Johnson. Ben takes it down court, stops from 3 from downtown, back of the rim, no good. Boy, I like his confidence though. Going to let it rip.
Catholic starts out slow just about every game, but then all of a sudden you look around, you might have a 20-2 lead.
That might have been over the back, and that's going to be the call. Over the back that time will be Johnson as he went up trying to get the rebound, and that's going to be the third foul against Madisonville North Hopkins, and that's going to bring off their bench Zach Tao they call it, and Tao comes in. He is a 6'5" junior.
Getting back to that, Gary Ball, they might have a 20-2 lead at some point against Catholic, but Catholic, you turn right back around and they're right back on you.
You're exactly right. Pelfrey gets it down low to Goman. Back it comes to Ben Johnson. Ben kicks it back over to Pelfrey. Pelfrey works it back out to Jackson Smith. Back over to Johnson. Out top it comes to Luke Wedding. Down low to Johnson, knocked away, but back it comes. Ben Johnson's got it left side. He goes baseline, up and in. Boy, that's a good shot, quickly to the basket. And you know who was on top of him? Kenny White almost got a piece of that ball.
Well, he doesn't look that quick, Ben Johnson. But
here's almost another steal. Oh, he does get it. They've got a 3-on-2. Down the middle is Goman, and a shot put up and in by Pelfrey.
That might be the game plan.
8-6. They've cut that 8-0 lead. They've cut 6 points into it. Tao gives it down to Casey into the basket, and he puts it up and draws another foul.
Hey, I want to give a shout out to the Madisonville North Hopkins women's team that's playing. They're on holiday break. They're playing in the big tournament for a championship tonight as well. Congratulations to those ladies. I know a lot of them are tuning in, Gary.
Free throw by Casey is good. He's 2 of 3 at the line. He has 4 points. Stone has the 3. White has 2. Ben Johnson has 4 for Catholic and 2 for Pelfrey. It's 9-6, and Casey trying to make it a 10-6 ball game. And he does. Boy, Casey's a good-looking free throw shooter. 3 out of 4, 75%. 10-6. 3:49. Ben Johnson very slowly works it across, gets a pick out front, takes it to the basket, hangs. It won't go. Rebounded down low, and there's a lot of hesitation, and they kick it back out. It's Ryan Russell who's just in there, and also coming in there is Michael Hawkins. Hawkins has the ball out front, gives over to Ian Rothbauer, and he's open. He can't get it to him by Ben Johnson looking for the ball now. Hawkins hands it to him. He's way out front, 3-point range. He's going to back up.
Hawkins has played some really good minutes this tournament, too, for Lexington Catholic. Some good offensive rebounds, some things that you don't really see in the stat category or the box score, but certainly contributes to the team.
Russell with the basketball, cut off, gives it back to Hawkins, looking out top to Johnson, and you've got the big guy on him now. That's Kenny White. Kicks it in the corner. There's a three-pointer knocked down on a shot by Goman.
That's where Lexington Catholic will get you is you start, double teaming and picking up Johnson with your best player, and then all of a sudden you got other guys that get knocked down baskets.
10-9. That 8-0 lead has been cut down to 1 point.
Loving the swarming defense. Johnson,
wrap-around dribble down the lane, fakes for the ball, puts it up, and Kenny White says not this time.
Yeah, White got the best of him that trip.
10-9, 2:30 to go in the first quarter between number 1 and number 2. Number 1, Lexington Catholic in the RPI. Number 2, Madisonville North Hopkins out of the second region.
This is a huge game.
Kenny White gives it over to Tao, and he puts it up, won't go, gets his own rebound, sticks it up, no, and rebounding on the backside, coming out of there with it, Rothbauer. Rothbauer gives it up to Goman. Back over they go now, and they're wide open for the shot. He's going to be fouled, and the foul will be called on Tao.
I wasn't down underneath the basket to see the angle of that, but Rothbauer might have been better off just going to the hoop, trying to score that time.
I was about ready to call that he was going to shoot it, but he kicked the ball back out. 2:05 to go in the first quarter. Lexington Catholic trying to take their first lead in this basketball game. Madisonville jumped out 8-0. There's Ben Johnson, sticks it up and in. They've got their first lead. Johnson has 6. It's 11-10. Knights on top of the Maroons. Minute 57 to go in the first quarter. In the middle of town. They kick it over the right side. Stone to the basket. He comes back out now to Kenny White. White working out front there on Russell. Kenny White kicks it over left side to the basket, and a shot put up and in. Nicely done, and that's Parker.
That was a teardrop runner right there that went down for him.
Parker with the knockdown jumper on the floater, 12-11. Madisonville back with the 1-point lead, 1:25 in the first quarter. Looking back door is Rothbauer, and it's going to be knocked out, and that's good hands there by Stone. You don't want to call him Stone hands.
Not as quick as he
That's
is.
right.
Definitely not picking up Stone hands.
Quick hands. 1:21 to go in the first quarter. Goman out top looking for Ben Johnson. Gives it to him. He has 6 points already here in this first quarter. Johnson to the basket. Kicks it over and throws a bad pass as Goman just stood there in his tracks and didn't move at all. If Goman moves a little bit to the right, he probably catches that pass.
Miscalculation there by Ben.
Somebody miscalculated. Better get back in calculus class. A minute to go. Kenny White down the lane. There's Casey, and he puts it up and in. He's fouled.
That's one thing that I notice about Casey is you're not going to see the big man dunk. You won't see it, but he will go hard to the rack every single trip.
He's got 7 points already and an opportunity for 8. 14-11. Madisonville North Hopkins back with the lead, and the free throw is in and out.
Let me give a shout out to John Tranter, my good friend over there. You know they own that chicken salad chick over there in Brandon Crossing. That's some good food.
I know John Tranter very well. He's a great guy.
Yes, he is.
Ben Johnson lets the 3 rip, and it's in and out. Hawkins battling, and down low with it. They kick it back to Ben Johnson. They come over to Goman, and he has it back tapped, and it'll go back to Lex Cath. And Ben Johnson can't believe that shot didn't go one halfway down.
John, Gary and I expect a free scoop of chicken salad.
Something, man, something, anything.
Chicken salad on the house from John.
Throw us a bone, will you? Johnson back out top to Russell. Russell moves in a little bit closer, a little floater, and it's short and rebounded. Coming out there with it is Kenny White. He has 2 points. White down court, gives it over to Tao. Tao Right side, he gives it up over to Stone. Back out front they come to Marquise Parker. They're going to take the last shot here, William, with 13 seconds to go in the first quarter and a 14-11 lead.
Well, it's a smart pace right now. You don't want to let either team run, because if you do, they might end up hurting you.
Down the lane, Stone stops him 15, won't go, but he draws the foul. That goes on Ben Johnson. That'll be number 2. And they did call that, I think, on Ben Johnson.
They did.
Number 2 on him.
Ben looking down in disgust on the call.
I would too. Very little contact to call that second personal. But I tell you what, looks like he may come out. Free throw knocked down by Parker, his 3rd point of the game. It's 15-11. Remember, Madisonville North Hopkins jumped out to an 8-0 lead.
Yep.
And Catholic cut into it as Parker has 4 points now with those 2 free throws. And that's the end of the first quarter, 16-11. But Luke Wedding will check in for Ben Johnson with those 2 fouls. When we come back for the second quarter, the lead belongs to Madisonville North Hopkins, 16-11.
I wanted to get back on the basketball court.
I want to get back to the ref I used to be.
I want to get back to gardening.
I want to get back to playing with my band.
Only one team is qualified to get patients back to living their lives. Bluegrass Orthopedics has physician experts to assist in your recovery, whether it's an injury or chronic condition. Bluegrass Orthopedics provides convenient, specialized, and comprehensive care for your unique life.
No answer for Kashawn Casey. He had 7 points in that first quarter. Had almost half the points for North Hopkins. Madisonville leads 16-11, and Ben Johnson's out of the game. No, he's still in the game with those 2 fouls, William.
All right.
If you're in a Kentucky game, they take those guys out with 2 fouls, and they don't come back in the first half, do they?
Nope.
But this is high school. They say Ben could stay away from that third. I think he can.
He has to lighten up his D a little bit.
That's right. He takes it to the basket, spins, kicks it out top now to Pelfrey. Pelfrey angles right, looking out top, gives it up over there to Smith. Smith swings it back around to BJ, Ben Johnson. He works it between his legs out front. He's working on Parker. Now gives it back to Pelfrey. Back over to Ben Johnson. Ben takes the ball to the basket a lot, so you know Madisonville's going to be trying to draw that 3rd foul.
Yeah, you're going to have guys.
He's out front, lets the 3 go, bullseye. Ben Johnson, he has 9 points now, and it's 16-14. That's how quickly Catholic can get back in the game.
He's been averaging 25-plus a game.
Yeah, and there's a travel there by Kenny White. Turn it over to Catholic. Lexington Catholic can tie it or take the lead with a 3-pointer. And Ben Johnson just hit his first. Goldman has one. I tell you what, I don't think Luke Wedding's taking a 3-pointer.
Not yet.
But he's open in the corner right now. They don't get it to him. He's got Kenny White matching up with him over there. Pelfrey bounces over now to Russell. Back it comes now to Smith. Out top. There's Wedding with a 3. Lets it go. In and out. I think he heard me, William.
I think he did too. Speaking of, Mingy Beef Jerky, want to give them a shout out. If folks down in Madisonville, go to your local convenience store and buy a pack. The reason why we can do this broadcast
Stone,
tonight.
Another 3-pointer out of the corner, William. Stone, he has 6, 19-14. Madisonville, North Hopkins by 5, 6:30 to go in the first half. Out top it comes now. They give it to Ben Johnson. He lets a 3 float up there and good. Ben Johnson has a dozen now. That's his second 3-pointer. It's 19-17.
Johnson's starting to heat up.
He's heating up, isn't he? Right side, it comes over now to Stone. He's hit 2 big threes. Double teamed, and let's see, good defense by Catholic. Went off a Catholic player. I think it went off a foot of a Lexington Catholic player. Is why it goes back to Madisonville North Hopkins.
You know who Ben Johnson reminds me of is Jared Polson when Polson played for over at West Jessamine, except Ben's a little bit more thicker than Jared was.
Yeah, he is. He's put together really well.
Yeah,
Ben Johnson.
so but he certainly shoots like Polson did.
Ben Johnson has one D1 offer right now, but believe me, by the time he's a senior, they'll all be pouring in.
They'll be pouring in tomorrow.
19-17. That might be a Casey, what's it called?
Oh, they called a block.
Block, and I thought they were going to call Casey for a little clear out there with the chicken wing.
Yeah, the hook around, yeah.
But they didn't catch that, and they called that. That went on Smith. That's his first.
A lot of people talking on YouTube in the chat right now. A lot of people from Madisonville, North Hopkins watching tonight. Thank you so much. Hit the dollar sign.
Yeah.
Buy Gary and I a cupcake or something.
Casey at both free throws. I'll tell you what, this young man can play. This Kayshawn Casey, 6'9" senior. Out top with the basketball, Smith. Hands it now to his teammate. That's Pelfrey. Pelfrey gives it back over to Smith. Now it comes to Ben Johnson. Ben working into the lane. He's got an open lane. Stops on the right elbow. Puts it up too strong. Tapped up and in.
Oh,
nice tap in. And that's nicely done by Russell. Ryan Russell.
And contributing Ryan Russell.
Down low, they lob it over now. Stone lets a three fly. That's off the mark. And good tap there by Russell to Ben Johnson. Ben stops on the right side and kicks it over now to his teammate. And there's a three lined up off the mark. Won't go for Russell.
That was NBA range.
Yeah, Russell got, I think he pulled the trigger a little soon. Stone out of balance, gives to Casey. Turns, hook, puts it up and in. He's got 12 points. 23-19, Madisonville. There's a Johnson from three. That's off the mark and rebounded by Kenny White.
Catholic's got to have better trips off the floor.
Yeah, they needed a better one now, but that was a good shot. And there's going to be a foul called on the floor before the shot, I believe. 4:37 to go in the first half. Gary Ball with William Warfield, the king of Stream. Our next broadcast, I believe, is next Tuesday. LCA and Catholic.
Yep,
that's right here at Catholic, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
23-19, and White trying to add to the lead and missed the free throw badly. He might be getting a little tired here at this tournament.
Well, I think it's just this end of the court. It's been tough to hit free throws on this end of the court.
Ben Johnson working out front. Get it in the corner now to Luke Wedding. Back it comes to Russell. Russell down the lane. Comes over right side to Goldman. Stops, throws it up, and draws the foul. He'll go to the line. He kind of threw up a circus shot. That had no chance at all, William, but he'll go to the line and get two free throws. He'll be rewarded for it.
Yeah, he drew the contact. That was the important thing right there, is he drew the contact, and it's another foul on the Madisonville North Hopkins player.
4:16 here in the first half, and the free throws up and in. I tell you, that's one thing Catholic does as well as anybody is shoot free throws, William. They're one of the best free throw shooting teams in the state of Kentucky at nearly 77%.
Yep.
As a team. That's like Kentucky. I think Kentucky's up there nationally. They knock them down both, so got them both.
Free throws are crucial.
Yeah, in any game, especially when you got number one and number two battling here tonight.
And at any level.
At any level. Especially the professional level.
I can't watch the NBA now.
Yeah, I know. It's
hard to.
No defense. And a bad pass as coming down court was Parker. He threw it behind 6'9" Casey. That's hard to do. It's hard to miss that big target.
My apologies for coughing in the mic there. I don't have a cough button over here this far over.
23-21. Madisonville North Hopkins by 2, but Lexington Catholic can tie it up here or take the lead. And Colson Perry has just checked in. There's a shot by Wedding, knocks it down. Luke Wedding, his first three, a 48% three-point shooter. Catholic has the lead, 24-23. Stone in the front court. Cut off by triple teamed. Comes out and over to White. Gets it back to Stone.
I think we ought to remix that old Billy Idol song, and say it's time for a Luke Wedding.
Yep. Hayden Reynolds has just checked in. Here's Kenny White, and he knocks down a free throw line, Jay. That's 4 points for Kenny White. 25-24 back for Madisonville North Hopkins. Very slowly across the line. Perry gives it up over to Goldman. Out top, Wedding knocked away, but picked back up by Goldman of Lexington Catholic. Dribbles in, gives it back over to Wedding. They're trying to buy as much time as they can right now with Ben Johnson on the bench.
Yeah, giving them a nice little rest.
Luke Wedding, another three, and that's the front of the iron, no good, and rebounded there by Reynolds. Hayden Reynolds is a 6'2 senior. Stone fakes the ball, puts it up and in. Boy, I tell you what, this little kid has got game, doesn't he? 8 points.
He does, yeah. He's good with the rock. Yeah, you know, he gets down low, too, so it's hard for the defense to guard him.
Ben Johnson
he's quick.
Already at the scorer's table, set to check in, William. Out top to Wedding. Wedding's 1 for 3 from three-point range. He's 48% shooter. Out top to Rothbauer. Wedding comes back over. Here's a three-pointer. Knocked down by Goman. Second tray by Jack Goman. We're tied at 27. High pass, and it's picked off. Intercepted by Smith. Hands it back over to Goman. Goman lets a three rip, and it's back to the rim. No, but I tell you, the Catholic bench was reacting like they knew something.
The roof would have came off this place if he hit that.
White down the middle of the floor, loses control of it, and they call a charge, I believe, on Danny White. Yes, on Kenny White, excuse me. Danny White's the quarterback for the Cowboys. Kenny's the forward for the Madisonville North Hopkins basketball team, and they're number 2 in the RPI. Lexington Catholic number 1. This is a great battle here tonight at Lexington Catholic.
Yes, it is. 27 all, Gary Ball.
145. Randy White was a defensive player, too, for the Cowboys. Ben Johnson stops, kicks it back over left side as he goes to Rothbauer.
I don't think Cowboys will have the same coach next year, by the way.
No, they should have made the playoffs this year.
Should have.
The Eagles, who cares about the Eagles?
And how about the Dolphins beating the Patriots?
Wedding. Swing it around now. Give it up to Rothbauer. Back to Goman. 1:17 tie ball game between number 1 and 2. Back door to Ben Johnson. Lays it up and in.
Somebody forgot to guard Big Ben.
That is 14 for Big Ben. Let's call him Big Ben, okay? We've nicknamed him Big Ben. In the middle, Reynolds goes to Casey, and there's going to be a foul on Reynolds. And that will send, I believe it's a 1+1, so Hayden Reynolds will go to the line. Out of the ball game, as Hawkins checks in, going out will be Smith. Big Ben has 14 points.
He's legit, man.
Free throw in and out.
Just think about the last 10 years. You had Tanner, you had Luke, and now you got Big Ben Johnson.
And his dad was pretty good too.
Yep, he sure was.
Ben takes a pick, goes down the lane, puts it up, and it rolls out, battling for it. And winning that battle was 6'9" Casey. In the corner they come now to Parker. Back it goes to Kenny White. 29-27. Lex Cath on top of Madisonville North Hopkins with 31 seconds here in the first half. Pass over the corner to Parker. Left side. Looking now, gives it back to White. Down to 25 seconds. Madisonville looking like they're going to take the last shot here. Down to 18 seconds. White gives it back to Parker. Bounce down to Casey. Back to Parker. Over to Stone. Back to Parker. Down to Casey on Hawkins, and he puts it up and in. He will get the soup and the sandwich.
The soup and a sandwich, the milk and the cookies, whatever you want to call it, Gary Ball. That was a power move by that man.
Man, he's got a game working. Casey, that's his 4th field goal to go with 5 free throws already. Missed the free throw, and we're going to have a foul called on Reynolds. With 2.3 seconds, and that will send Catholic to the line to take the lead back with 2.3 seconds to go. This is what you expect when number 1 plays number 2, isn't it, William?
It is. You know, both coaches coaching this game very well right now. It's got a good pace to it. It's back and forth.
And it's tied.
And you got superstars out on the floor. What more can you ask for?
You do. Kenny White, one of the star players in the state of Kentucky, 20 points average coming in, 6'7" senior. He kind of erupted over the state tournament scene last year in the Sweet 16. And Ben Johnson, well, he's been a stellar performer here at Catholic since he was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Free throw knocked down by Mr. Wedding. That's 4 points for him. Luke, a 6'4 senior, averaging 10 points a ball game. He's got a three-pointer and a free throw in this one, and the lead back for Catholic, and make it 2. So he knocks the second one down, 31-29 with 2.3 to go. And across the line, Parker throws it up from half court, and that's the halftime score. It's a good first half of basketball. Lexington Catholic 31, Madisonville North Hopkins 29 here. The Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week will continue here at halftime with Lexington Catholic on top of Madisonville North Hopkins by 2, 31-29. Ben Johnson, the big story, with 14 points in that first half. We'll be back on the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week.
I work really hard, but I'm struggling to pay my bills on time. I've gotten pretty far behind, and I don't know what to do.
Is this happening to you? We're Atkinson, Sims, and Kermode.
Bankruptcy could be your best solution.
We're here to give you a fresh financial start.
Start your bankruptcy for as little as $78 now. The consultation is free in Lexington and now in Somerset.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
There are 50 Whitaker Bank locations serving Kentucky communities just like mine.
61 Whitaker Bank ATMs throughout Kentucky make getting quick access to cash easy.
Whitaker Bank staff serves the needs of nearly 70,000 Kentucky customers every day.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
what I've been waiting for all day long.
Down low to Casey, left hand, no good. Gets it back, puts it up, no, and then third attempt. I tell you what, if you fail once, try again. It's 2-0.
This may be a situation where, you know, they're going to keep feeding the big guy down low, but you're going to have to just let him get his points and try to stop everybody else carry ball, because you're not going to be able to stop him.
Goman swings it back around Smith. They line up a 3 out front, won't go for Wedding. Stick it back out, and here's a shot on the left side, won't go, and it's going to go over the top of the backboard. So out of bounds, it'll go to Madisonville North Hopkins. They got a good shot over there by Goman.
Yeah, Goman, if he can get open, he can drain those. But you know, contested, sometimes they're tough when you got bigger guys on.
Stone gives it now to Johnson. He runs over top. Good defense by Lexington Catholic as he ran over top of the Knights, Jackson Smith, and picked up the personal.
Yeah, Jackson Smith, he's good about being in the right place at the right time. That time he had his feet planted and was able to take the charge.
47 charges is the record here at Lexington Catholic, and they think they're going to break that this year. They really do.
Yeah, very, very possible.
That's by one player, by the way. Left side, they give it up now, and they give back to Ben Johnson. Lines up to 3, off the mark, tapped around. Welcome back here to Buter Gymnasium, and it's second half action. Lexington Catholic on top, 31-29 here at halftime, and it will be Ben Johnson, Jack Goman, Jackson Smith, Luke Wedding, and Peyton Pelfrey. For Madisonville North Hopkins, it'll be Kenny White, Keyshawn Stone, who had a good first half, Casey, DeJuan Johnson, and Marquise Parker. Parker has it backcourt, gives a good steal. Johnson stole it, but it goes right back to Madisonville to the basket and put it up, no. Rebounded by Luke Wedding. At 6'4", he gets in there with those long arms and comes up with a big rebound. Pelfrey, kick it around to Goman. Back to Ben Johnson. Johnson back over the right side. They wanted Jackson Smith to shoot it, but comes back over to Luke Wedding. 2-point lead for the Knights. They have the basketball. 7.5 to go here in this third quarter. Ben Johnson bounces back out, picked off, and stolen out there by Johnson to Stone, and blocked away by Lexington Catholic's Pelfrey. (31-29). What a block by Pelfrey. Comes out to Stone, about a 19-footer. He knocks it down. He ties it up. Stone's got 10 points, having a great ball game.
All right, got you.
I can hear it.
It's good now. Sorry.
What was wrong with you?
I think we were on the intercom again.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Ben Johnson lines up the three, bullseye. 17 for Big Ben. Ben Johnson, 34-31. Boy, that's a good answer there, isn't it?
It was.
Here's a steal. Stolen by Goman. Jack drives down, lays it up and in. 10 points for Goman. That's the biggest lead for the Knights, 5 points. Johnson in the middle for Madisonville North Hopkins. Comes back out to Parker. So Lexington Catholic, they got the big three from Ben Johnson, and then they got, of course, the steal by, the lay-in by Goman, 36-31. Down low, Casey, good place to go with it, knocks it down. You know, when you need a bucket, William, there you go. You go down to big number 35. He's a load.
He is a load.
Ben Johnson in trouble. Gets it up over to Goman. Jack gets a pick, slides through it, gives it up over now to Pelfrey. Peyton Pelfrey. Smith. Back to Johnson. And here's a steal. Johnson tries to steal it back, and we're going to have a jump ball called. Good job by Ben Johnson to get the steal right back. Hey, that's the thing about it. When you give the ball up, get it right back.
Yeah, take it right back. Yeah. I think you got a little frustrated there and said, "Give me my ball back." Right?
We got a lot of people texting us, William. We got Kevin Brugman's watching the guys. Shout out to Kevin Brugman tonight. Hey, Kev.
What about my little guy Tony? Is
Tony watching, Kevin? Give us a tweet and let us know. And back door to Ben Johnson, and he went for the dunk. And I tell you what, Kenny White came over and altered it a little bit. And Kenny White altered that B-jab. Ben Johnson dunked a little bit, just enough, didn't he?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine this place if that would have
He would have brought the student section out on the floor, I think. They would have erupted. 36-33. We got a good ball game here going tonight. Number 1 and number 2 in the RPI. Coach Talbot, his girls are down at Daytona Beach. We want to give them a shout out as well.
Coach Eddie Brooks was down there as well watching.
Yeah, he wanted to know last night if Douglas was going to be on, and I had family in town, so
yeah,
I didn't get the message.
With me. He watched it while I was broadcasting.
William Moorfield had it all covered.
All right, so we got a ton of people sending us messages on Facebook as well, enjoying the broadcast.
Loses a handle on it, gets it out to White. In the corner it goes, down low. Casey puts it up and in.
Big power move again.
17 for Casey.
I like how he protected the basketball there, you know, kind of threw his body
you're not going to get through that 6'9" wide body,
no,
William Moorfield. And the little AD is watching. Talked about the Burgundies. And there's a foul on Casey, and that will send to the line. Jackson Smith just took it right at him, didn't he?
The girls' team is watching down.
Yeah, I already mentioned that.
Oh, you already mentioned
Yeah, I already mentioned the girls' team.
Oh, okay.
Down
gotcha.
in
You're on top of this.
Daytona. Yeah, I'm getting all these texts, too. You know what I'm saying? It's just blowing us.
Oh, okay.
We got to call the game here, folks. Just let us call the game. Free throws up and in, and it's good. Knocked down by Smith.
Keep it coming in. I mean, after the game, we'll go back and look at some of that stuff. And, you know, we appreciate everybody tuning in.
37-35. Catholic on top, and he knocks down the second one. Good free throw shooting by Smith. We talked about the fact that Catholic's one of the best free throw shooting teams. There's a pass thrown away, but good save by the little guy Stone. Back to Kenny White. Over to Stone. Loses the handle down, and a big guy lays it up and in. Casey. That is 19 for Casey.
I was talking to John Carmichael, and he was telling me, he's like, man, you know, White for Madisonville North Hopkins, he said he's got the total package if he can only get it a little bit more aggression.
Ben Johnson, and knocked away by Casey, comes up with it. Ben Johnson was called a no-man. He had two big guys on him. Pass out, and here's a White three. In and out, rebounded by Ben Johnson. 38-37. Pass, and there's going to be a foul called on Casey. Casey's picked up a couple of quick ones here in the third quarter.
Nice student section here as well for Lexington Catholic tonight.
So that's the second foul on Casey. 4:04 to go in this third quarter. Number 1 and number 2 in the RPI. Lexington Catholic Madisonville North Hopkins, 4:04 to go here in the third quarter. This is the Mingy Beef Jerky High School basketball game of the week. I want to tell you about Rafferty's Restaurants. Rafferty's is over in the Hamburg, and they've got the great potato soup that is to die for. I know you partake in some of that potato soup.
Yes, sir.
And the open-faced prime rib is delicious.
I've had that before.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Recently.
And, so I know I had my crew, Scholastic Ball Report interns and crew was out there for the Ball Report party last week at Rafferty's, and it was delish.
Always.
38-37 here. Lexington Catholic on top of Madisonville. And to the line will be Peyton Pelfrey.
Scott Lindsay was over at the state cheer a couple weeks ago, and man, I tell you what, he had the potato soup there. He had the salad, the club salad and everything. Man, I pigged out. Love Rafferty's.
Free throw good there for Pelfrey.
You guys are you guys could pass for brothers, you and Scott.
I don't think so.
I think you could.
Missed the second one, tapped around, and coming down with it, Stone.
I wanted to hook both of you guys up with the Ancestry website and see if there's a connection somewhere along the line.
High arcing three-pointer won't go out of the corner by Parker, and rebounded there by Lexington Catholic. Coming out with it is Peyton Pelfrey. 39-37, 3:38 to go in this third quarter here at Lexington Catholic in front of a good crowd. Ben Johnson, double team, comes out of there. They want a double dribble, no call. Pelfrey now will look over at Brandon Salzman, the head coach for the Knights. He had a stint at Bourbon County. Well, they played tonight. They got a good ball club. Ben Johnson, yes! Man, that's 19 for Ben.
That little curl that he came off of that post right there. Almost like calling football, ain't it?
Yep. Stone, right side, floater, no good, and rebound. Nice rebound by Goman. Jack Goman at 6'4". Down court, dumps it over and right to Kenny White. He plays for Madisonville North Hopkins. Parker down low. Johnson lays it up and in.
Well, if you notice that Casey's having a hard time getting back up the floor when Lexington Catholic's in transition, coming off of a rebound. And Lexington Catholic ends up having numbers 5-on-4.
And they're going to get some fresh bodies in there at the next break. 2:32 to go in the third.
I'm willing to bet Salzman just saw what I saw, and he's going to take advantage of it.
Goman to the basket, put it up and in. He will get the soup and the sandwich.
Give him the soup and the sandwich, Gary Ball.
He's getting it. And he might put a little cracker in that soup. Some saltines maybe. Sprinkle it in there.
I like those little kind you get like a Gold Star.
Yeah, I do too, the little oyster kind.
Yeah, the oyster crackers. Those make chili good.
Those are good crackers. 43-39, and Goman knocked down that, hung up in the air, knocked it down, and we got another special listener viewer tonight. Free throw out of there. Chastity Given is watching, and she is friends of Bob Eads. Bob Eads is in the house tonight. How about that? My old coach at Boone County. Down low, ball knocked away by Hawkins, and they get it back. Parker over to Stone and Johnson, and he reverses. Nice reverse up and in by Johnson.
Beautiful move. He used the rim for protection.
He did.
Able to get something going there for him.
They can't block it if you got that rim right there. 43-41. This is a good ball game, William.
It's a good pace ball game.
It is.
I love it.
Pace favors Catholic. And there's a reach, and they call. Yeah, I don't know if they were going to call it or not, but they did. Kenny White, and he bumps Ben Johnson. I don't know what that's about. I don't think he can get in the head of Ben Johnson. But Kenny White's trying to do it. 43-41. Pass goes to Ben Johnson in backcourt. 1:45 to go in the third quarter. The championship game of the Traditional Bank Classic here at Lexington Catholic.
It's been a great tournament. The field this year has been very exciting to watch.
Bourbon County's good to the basket, up and in. What a move by Goman. Well, Goman, I show him with 14 points. He's come alive.
Quietly putting up MVP numbers for this game.
Over now to Parker. Minute 20 to go. Kenny White to the lane. Reverses it up and in. That's Kenny White right there.
That's the aggression.
He can get in the lane. He flipped that up with the left hand and went in. over the right side of the rim. 45-43, 2-point lead for the Knights. A minute, almost a steal in backcourt, but Goldman comes out of there with it. Stone on him. Goldman, and that's going to be too much contact, and the foul's going to be called on Keyshawn Stone.
It's going to put Lexington Catholic back to the line here.
I think that's only the fifth.
That's only 5. I take that back.
Yeah, we still got a minute to go in the third. So if they were in the, I see Chris Slofton at the table over there. Chris Slofton, what a great player he was. He played in this tournament.
Back in Mason County.
This place was packed when he played in this tournament.
There's
Ben Johnson. No, off the rim.
Everybody talks about the buzzer beater shot he hit.
Johnson. And Ben comes over and swats it, and a foul called. It looked clean. We're way down here, folks. You got to bear with us. We're way down here. But it looked clean from way down here. We're on the opposite end of the court.
I don't know.
What'd you think?
He
might have got him with the body.
I think he got him on the wrist.
Okay.
After looking at it on slow-mo,
upon further review, we'll accept that, right? Hey, the video don't lie, does it, William?
Well, I mean, again, we're not down on that end.
Yeah.
I'm looking on a little bitty monitor. But
free throw rattles in for Johnson. He can tie this game up. This is number 1 and number 2 in the RPI that just came out today. And it rolls in there. Good free throw shooting by DeJuan Johnson. He has 6 in the quarter.
That's 3 fouls on Ben Johnson.
Yeah, I know, but he stayed away from that third. He stayed away from that third for a long time.
Yeah, for quite a while.
In backcourt with it, Goldman working on Stone, and he finally gets it across. Bump, no call. And he gets it over the left side. They kick it now to Wedding. He lets a 3 go. In and out. Stacked to Hawkins, and we're going to have a foul called. And if it goes on Casey, I believe it'll be his third.
Casey's asking the official, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah, that's the third on Casey here in this quarter. 16 foul. And they're going to say with 28 seconds, it's 45 all. And Casey will have to go out. And coming in will be Jordan Vaughn. So Jordan Vaughn in. And Wedding with the 3 out of the right side. Luke Wedding.
That's a big change.
48-45 on the Wedding. He's a 48% three-point shooter. We've talked about that a couple times. 15 seconds here in the third quarter. Gary Ball with William Warfield, the king of string. Heading down to the bowl game tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going down to watch Kentucky play.
And battling down low. They get it out to Kenny White, and that 3 won't go at the buzzer. Had that gone, it would have counted for Kenny White. We head to the fourth quarter. Lexington Catholic 48-45 for Madisonville North Hopkins here. This is the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week, number 1 and number 2 battling here at Lexington.
That familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And a moment of silent breath, thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And
all right, we are back.
Welcome back. Fourth quarter action gets underway. Madisonville North Hopkins will have the ball to start this fourth quarter, so next possession will be Lexington Catholics. They lead by 3. Ben Johnson with 19, and 19 for Casey. He's out of the ballgame with those 3 fouls. I don't think he'll sit too long, do you?
I don't think so. I don't think they can afford for him to sit too long.
Parker out top with it. Comes over to Johnson. Johnson had a good third quarter, 6 points in that third quarter. Kenny White, 6'7" senior. Over to Johnson, trying to go to Vaughn. He's posting up. Kick it to Stone. He lets the 3 rip, and we're tied on the Stone three-pointer.
Big three.
48 all. What's that, our 5th tie? Ben Johnson.
Seesaw battle.
Hawkins, open, won't take it. Hands it now to Wedding. Luke will kick it back out to Ben Johnson. 7:15 to play. 48-48. Stone just tied it up. Ben Johnson has it. Gets a pick. White on him. He kicks it out to Russell. Russell over to Goldman. Goldman over to Wedding. To Hawkins. And knocked away. Good defense there by Johnson. Boy, he's got good size too at 6'5", a junior.
I'm going to give a shout out to Doug Charles watching tonight.
The LCA head coach, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Did a great job with LCA. Ben Johnson to the basket, reverses it up and in. He's fouled, and he's fouled by Kenny White. He'll go to the basket.
Count it.
Count that one. 3-point play the John Houseman way. He earned it.
Earned it.
50-48. Catholic with the lead back. Darren Douglas is watching tonight down in Versailles, or wherever he is. Free throw good. I believe he's in Versailles. That's where he lives, but he stays in Frankfurt a lot.
Yeah. He's all over, ain't he?
51-48. Kenny White kicks it over the left side. Down low. Casey lays it up and in. Boy, how do you lose a 6'9", 275-pound guy like that?
Yeah, somebody wasn't paying attention to the big fella down there. Snowboarding is what we used to call it, wasn't it?
Yep. Russell gets it back to Ben Johnson. 51-50. Catholic by 1 point. They have the leather. 6:20 to play. Ben Johnson kicks it out top to Russell. He falls down, gets his footing, gets it back and drive to the basket. No, he missed the layup, but a good drive there by Smith. Down low and to the basket, Parker, and he is going to be fouled.
Ooh, what a game, man. This is intense in here, and the fans, just feed off the fans' energy too, Gary.
Goldman picked that up, William. That's his second. 51-50, so Parker can give the lead back to Madisonville North Hopkins with both these free throws. 6:05 to play.
Cynthia says, go Knights.
51 all on the Parker free throw. Parker looking to give Madisonville the lead back, and he does, rattles it in. 52-51, Madisonville North Hopkins leading Lexington Catholic. 6:03 to play. Ben Johnson across the line, stops and pops from three, in and out, rebounded by Casey. Hands now to Parker. Parker down low, Casey, and he runs over top of a Lexington Catholic player, no call, and the basket counts.
That had to hurt.
And a step out of bounds on the sideline as Russell tried to catch a pass, tightrope the sideline. 54-51.
Trying to catch the pass, and it came out of his hands and hit the sideline there.
Stone tracks it down. Working across on Russell. Stone. And it's kicked out. Good leg work there by Goldman. I wonder if he played soccer.
He may. They got a really good soccer team.
I think Goldman played football, didn't he?
Yep.
He was a good receiver. Kenny White hands it back to Parker, back to Kenny White, 5:24 to play. Kenny White moves in the right elbow, between the legs, lobs it now to Casey. Double team, back it goes to White. He flies through, puts it up, no, tapped up. Catholic's got a bust out. They got numbers, 4 on 3. Down the lane, Goldman, and right side, and he walked.
Yep. My boy John Martin Sims was down here on the sideline for Lexington Catholic.
Yep.
Talking about some of those football guys. He's down there. Bo Allen used to play basketball.
Yep.
He gave it up. He gave it up, rightfully so, because football was his future.
Oh, yeah. He will be a superstar. Kenny White. Johnson overcomes Stone, stops and pops, and rattles it in. This Stone kick can play now.
Yes, he can.
That's 15 for Keyshawn Stone. And timeout called by the Knights. 56-51. Madisonville North Hopkins back to a 5-point lead after Catholic had a 5-point lead late in the third quarter. 4:52 to play on the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week. We'll be back. Welcome back here. Unofficially, my scoring is unofficial. I show Kashawn Casey with 21 points. And I show Ben Johnson with 19 points. Those are the game's high scorers. And I show Stone with 15 big points, the 5'11 senior guard for Madisonville North Hopkins. Lexington Catholic will put it in play, and they're in desperate need of a field goal. Down 5 here with 4:52 to play. Across the line, Ben Johnson. 4:45, Ben directing traffic out there with Kenny White on him defensively. Comes over to Smith. Back to Johnson. Ben Johnson gets a pick from Smith. Slides right and almost a steal. And White does come up with it. Drives down, hangs, and it won't go, but he's fouled. Let's see, they called that on.
Gonna be on Ben Johnson, right?
No, they called it on. Smith. His third.
Must have got him from behind.
So Kenny White will be at the charity stripe to try to put Madisonville up by 7, and it's too strong.
Amy Clark says go Maroons. Kara Willis says go Big M. Cindy says go Big M.
We got a lot of folks watching from Madisonville, don't we?
Absolutely.
And he knocks down the second one. That's 7 points for Kenny White, averaging 20. 57-51. Catholic 2 possessions down when you count the 3. Out top to Smith. Over to Russell. Wedding comes to Johnson. Spinning. Fakes. Gets him up in the air. Nice move. Rolls in. Ben Johnson with 21.
That was a nice move, man. Patience from Ben Johnson.
Yeah, he let Kenny White hang up in the air and come back down. Then he did a little spin, but falling down to the floor, and a foul's going to be called on Luke Wedding. That's third foul on Luke.
Knights need to come up with a turnover here because we're down to 4 minutes left in this ballgame. Well, under 4 minutes now.
Down 4, 57-53. They're in a zone defense right now, William. Catholic packing in a
2-3.
It's like a 1-2-2.
Is it?
Yeah, they got out front.
Oh, yeah, I see it now as it forms up.
Yeah, they got Rothbauer out front on it. Kenny White kicks it over to Stone. 3:37. You know, Madisonville North Hopkins got some ball handlers in there. Stone, one of those to Parker. Parker pounds it down. 3:25 to play. Over to Johnson.
Now Madisonville North Hopkins taking their time. This is where the shot clock may be a good thing.
Ben Johnson works on Kenny White. And Johnson flying through, puts it up, no. And it's battle down flow. And coming down there with it, good battle. And that was all Smith. Ben Johnson, crossover dribble, and he's going to be fouled. And the foul's going to be called. And boy, Madisonville North Hopkins, they do not like that call. They thought that was a clean pick because Ben was about ready to have his pocket picked. But a foul was called. And it was called on White. That's his fourth, by the way. So White's got 4 fouls. Casey's got 3. The other big guy, and Ben Johnson, normally a good free throw shooter at 78%. Be at the line, and the free throw rattles in. That's 22, I believe. Unofficially, I've got him with 22.
22, yeah. That seems about right. I mean, he's right on his average right now.
Yep, average is 25 plus. One leading scores in 11th region, and he got them both.
Give a big shout-out to the Madisonville Fire Department watching down there.
Hey, shout-out to the first responders.
Department
I love those
C-shift.
guys. Thank you for what you do, sir, down there in Madisonville.
Department C shift watching tonight.
C shift. They're the best. 2:50 to go in this ball game. 57-55. Madisonville on top. Number 2 in the RPI. Lexington Catholic number 1 in the RPI. Down the floor. Parker stops and hits it. And what's going to be the call?
It's on the floor.
Okay, before the shot. Is that right?
Before the shot.
Okay. Went on Pelfrey, his third. That's a team 7th, so will be bonus time for Marquise Parker.
Jonathan Young, by the way, is the fireman. And Sharon Tyson also watching down in Madisonville tonight.
A lot of folks watching this game. It's number 1 and number 2 in the RPI. The RPI don't lie, folks. Missed the free throw and rebounded by Ben Johnson, and Johnson's falling over top of him, no call. So Catholic can tie here. 2:40 to play.
The only thing I saw with the RPI that may not be accurate is the teams that travel out of state to play during the holidays do not
Johnson
get a fair crack.
to the basket, blocked by Kenny White. And then Parker, I tell you what, Ben Johnson.
Conversation going on down there.
There's a lot of jawing going on. A lot of jawing. They throw it out front, picked off by Stone, and he dribbled it too high. And Ben Johnson gets it back. Here comes Ben Johnson. Ben, down floor.
He's going to rack.
To the basket, puts it up, no, and he draws the foul. Had that gone, it would have counted. Ben can go to the line and shoot 2 and tie this game up. What a ball game. 2:17 to play. William Warfield, number 1 and number 2 in the RPI. The reason I say it don't lie, there's no politics in the RPI.
Right, exactly. Like
I
said,
I'm from this side, I'm from this part of the state, I'm from that side. There's no politics in this
Like
RPI.
I said, the only fault, I noticed Henry Clay, they got 41 in there, but that's because they don't have consideration of them playing, they just beat the top team in Georgia. That's not in that RPI right now.
Yeah, but they're also 6 and 4. And Johnson hits them both. And we got a timeout. 2:17 to play, and we are tied at 57 all here on the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week at Lexington Catholic.
All right, the Isley brothers playing here.
Oh, yeah, Williams got the music going here. I like that music track you have with Motown.
Oh, yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. 57 all here. Ben Johnson has been the star down the stretch here for the Mr. Basketball candidate next year. He's only a junior, and Kenny White has been held in check so far for Madisonville North Hopkins. Casey and other guys have stepped up. And there's a carry.
Yep.
That was a force. I tell you, made that defensive play. That was turned in by Peyton Pelfrey. He came rushing in, caused a young man to palm the basketball and turn it over.
Yeah, that little reach in made White start to try to guard that basketball, and in doing so, he trapped it on his hip.
Goman, 2:05 to play, 57 all. Ben Johnson has it out front. Comes over to Luke Wedding. Swings it over to Smith. Back it comes to Peyton Pelfrey. Down low, knocked away, and coming down there with it is Parker. Parker down the middle, right side, kicks it over now to Stone. Comes back out to Parker. Casey posting up down low, and he's double teamed now from the back. Gets it. Casey to a cutter, cutting through, and Johnson lays it up and in.
Well, that was very, very creative. A little circus shot. Dipsy in the dipsy-do, if you will, Gary Ball.
Johnson, I'll tell you what, he's got 8 points, all those in the second half. Johnson, Ben, stops him top of the key. Got it! Is that a three? Yep. We're going to review it. Was that a three? I thought it was what?
They're going to review it, Gary?
I'm not sure they're going to review it because it's high school ball, but I think his toe was on that line, so it'll just be a regular field goal. That's what I'm going to go with anyway. Well, 59 all. You take a look at it again. What do you think? It was close. Ben Johnson probably. Are we going to look at that again?
We will look at that again if you want.
Yeah, just for the toe. I mean, I look right down it from up here. We're in the crow's nest over here, high atop the Buter Gymnasium. Chris Lofton's in the house. Jack Givens is in the house.
Oh, I don't know, Gary.
I think that was a three. Upon further review, I think we should add another point. But they don't have a review, of course, in high school ball.
Right.
But William Warfield's video streaming.
I think if it's available, they should adopt it. Come on.
59 all. Minute 22 to play. Madisonville North Hopkins, number 2 in RPI. Catholic, number 1. 10-0 and 11-1. Battling into this one. And this one going down to the wire. There's a ball kick. I tell you.
That young man right there about took it on the side of the head.
Yeah. Rothbauer was playing defense there. He's checked in. A minute 15 to play in this one. The championship game. Going down to the wire. With the ball is Kenny White. White hands it back to his teammate Marquise Parker. Pounds it down. A minute 5 to go. So we're approaching 1 minute to go in this basketball game. White, 1 minute to go. 59 all.
I told you it's going to come down to the last shot.
White kicks it over to Stone. Don't let Stone, I'll tell you, if you're Catholic, you don't want Stone to shoot it. He's dead-eye. Stone working down the right side. Kicks it back out to White. Back it goes over to Parker. 43 seconds. Are they going to take the last shot, William?
I think they're going to hold for it.
Yeah, looks like they're holding for the last shot. Down to 37 seconds. Catholic's going to pull it out a little bit here, but if Catholic allows them to, they're going to take the last shot here. 30 seconds. White down the lane. Dumps it over. Parker throws it back out to Johnson. He flies down, puts it up, and knocks it down.
Big shot.
What a shot by Johnson. 10 points here in the second half for DeJuan Johnson, 6'5" junior, and it's 61-59. William Warfield still a lot of time with 19.7 seconds to go here in this ball game. Comes down to this. You got Ben Johnson, you got Luke Wedding, you got all these great three-point shooters. Will somebody else be open for the three-point shot? William, that's the big question for Lexington Catholic, because they will get a good look here with 19.7 seconds to go in this basketball game. And number 1 in the RPI, number 2 are battling here tonight at Buter Gymnasium. What a game, William.
Yes, sir. I got some more shout-outs coming in text message. I didn't even check my text messages, but I got about 50 of them. Some that stand out, though, is David Gadberry watching tonight. He says enjoying watching us and listening to us. He said, great job, Gary. And then somebody's numbers I don't even know here, but Kevin Bruggeman also, obviously a text you as well. But we appreciate all of you all for tuning in. And
appreciate you making it possible for us to bring these games to you on Mingy Beef Jerky. And I tell you what, go out and get you some of that Mingy Beef Jerky. It's good
absolutely.
Stuff. Really good.
Yep. Especially the folks down in Madisonville. Go to your local convenience store.
Yeah.
Pick up a bag of Mingy Beef Jerky. I know some of the other folks are paying $10 to watch the girls play down there. Well, you can go get you a bag of Mingy Beef Jerky for $10 at the convenience store. And
I like the mild and the teriyaki.
Yeah, absolutely.
The barbecue is good too. 61-59. Madisonville North Hopkins by 2. Ben Johnson's got it for Catholic. A regular field goal would tie, and a three-pointer would put him ahead. 15 seconds. Down to 13 seconds. Ben Johnson gets a pick, works toward the right, working on White to the basket, throws it up and in! Ben Johnson, what a circus shot. 4 seconds. Here comes Johnson down court. He runs over top of a Catholic player. And a charge call.
Charge with 0.6 seconds. You can get a shot off in 0.6 seconds, Gary Ball.
But I don't know if you can or not. You're looking at maybe a tip.
Nah, you can get it off.
But we're looking at overtime. Chris Lofton down at the table here. He's kind of got a big smile on his face. He remembers when he played in a big overtime game here at Lexington Catholic. And that's what we're looking at, overtime, 61 all. What a shot by Ben Johnson under a lot of duress.
Steve Angelucci watching tonight. He says, great job, Gary Ball. You mentioned Kevin. Corey Rainey's watching.
Shout out to Bob Cranfield and all the folks down in Charlotte watching. And shout out to them, Darren Holland. I'm sure he's checking out his Catholic nights. We're headed to overtime, folks. I know you say, well, there's still 6/10. I don't think you can get a shot off with 6/10 of a second. I just don't think you can do it. You can't do it with 1 second, much less 6/10.
I mean, technically you can.
But as soon as you touch the ball, it's over. So we'll see.
Watch it.
That's why they play the game. I'm just being speculative.
Just watch it, Gary Ball.
Okay, William. We'll see.
We'll see what Salzman got up his sleeve here.
Well, you better have something. 6/10 of a second. That's not much time. So they will throw it the full length, and it won't even be touched.
Oh, no.
And now you got a situation where
half court.
Yeah. Should have thrown it into somebody. Maybe we're not headed to overtime. And we're going to get a timeout by Madisonville. And Brandon Salzman cannot believe it. This is number 1 and number 2 in the RPI, Lexington Catholic and Madisonville North Hopkins. And we have a 61-all game here with 6/10 of a second left here in regulation. I think we're headed to overtime.
Yeah, you got to – well, here's the thing. Madisonville North Hopkins is going to be able to inbound it at half court. You got to watch out. If you're Lexington Catholic, you got to play this safe because you can still foul these guys.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's how they can win it if they get a foul, but I don't think they can get a shot off. So
now, will the officials call a foul? No, I don't know.
These officials have done a good job in this game. Ben Johnson has been the superstar that he is for Lexington Catholic, and there's been other players step up too. Jack Goman, Luke Wedding.
Josh Hamlin watching tonight. Coach Hamlin over there with Mercer County boys basketball. He's watching tonight. Says high quality high school basketball in great HD. He says awesome job to you and I. Appreciate that.
The time is almost up on the 60-second clock for the game clock. Will have 6/10 of a second. I think we're headed to overtime, folks. I played high school basketball, and I don't think we ever got a shot off with 6/10 of a second.
Everyone is standing up in this gym right now.
Yeah, this gym is pretty good crowd in here.
They're going underneath to the big fella.
Yeah, they're going to try. And looking.
He might get a 5-second. Well, there it is.
And they throw it up and tip it. And we're heading to overtime. So we're going to our first overtime, William.
Overtime, yes, sir. And what a great game. And why end it in 4 quarters when you can play overtime, Gary Ball?
That's right. Overtime it is here on the PrepSpin Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball game. We'll be back with the first overtime. Madisonville North Hopkins, Lexington Catholic, 61 all, number 1 and number 2 in the RPI.
That familiar sound of rubber and wood floor. The feel of the ball passing between hands and air. The squeaking of the sneakers. And a moment of silent breath, thankfully followed by the whipping of net. And the reward after. This is a moment to remember. This is a Mingy moment.
Welcome back here as we head to the overtime. Kenny White has 4 fouls going into this overtime for Madisonville North Hopkins. Ben Johnson has 3. Casey has 3. It'll be Casey going up against Luke Wedding for Lexington Catholic. 4 minutes are up. We got 4 minutes in overtime to decide the championship of the Traditional Bank Classic, where Bill Alverson announced his retirement today.
Really?
Yep.
He's been with Traditional Bank quite a long time.
CEO. He's the CEO. He's the chief executive, operating guy. He retired. Kenny White down the lane, over to Stone, baseline, hands it. Casey loses the handle on it, and Ben Johnson just lets it go out of bounds. That was a situation where Stone got caught underneath the basket, William. He tried to get it over to Casey, but by the time Casey got it, he lost the handle on it.
Well, and one of the Lexington Catholic Knights players got hit right upside the head as he lost the ball.
He took the lump on that one, didn't he?
All that force of the shot went right into his forehead.
Pelfrey to Goldman. Over now to Jackson Smith. Out top to Luke Wedding. Wedding hands it over to Goldman. Back to Ben Johnson. He's got Stone on him. 5'11" on 6'3".
What a great basketball game. What a great atmosphere here at Lexington Catholic.
Ben Johnson gets it up over to Goldman. We're in the overtime, the first overtime, 61-61. 3:10 to play in this first overtime. Goldman hands it to Ben Johnson. A deep three, in and out. Boy, I tell you, that was halfway down.
It felt good, didn't it?
Yeah, it looked good. Stone works it across for Madisonville North Hopkins in the dark. Catholic in the white with the blue. 2:52 to go in this first overtime. Number 1 and number 2 in the RPI. They go down low to Casey. Turns left, puts it up and in.
That was a beautiful turnaround shot right there.
23 for Casey.
He made sure nobody was going to even try to block it there because he got those arms extended.
6'9", 280 pounds. What are you going to do?
There's not anything you can do, really.
63-61. Ben Johnson goes right side, hangs and puts it up and draws the foul. That's just great quarter, and I believe that's number 5 on Kenny White. That is. He's out.
He's gone.
What a play by Ben Johnson.
We'll follow Kenny White off the court here, but
he's still arguing with the official, and you know who'll win that battle? The official every time.
Wow. That's huge.
That is huge. Tao will come in for him. Zach Tao, number 12. 6'5" junior. Johnson's free throw, good. Ben Johnson, you know, he's got so many points. I stopped keeping him, but I believe it's 26.
Yeah.
We'll have to get official tally after the game.
He's approaching 30.
Yeah, he's got to have close to 30. 63-63. 2:26 here and a ball knocked away.
Ooh.
And let's see. Good hands there, turned in by the good hands team, especially Peyton Pelfrey with those good hands.
Lexington Catholic student section, now they're biased over there, but
sure they are.
They thought for sure that was off of Madisonville North Hopkins.
Towel set to put it in play.
5 seconds, Theory.
And that's going to be a 5-second count as he couldn't get it in, and Lexington Catholic will take it. 2:26 to go here in this number 1 and number 2 battle, the RPI.
The defense of Lexington Catholic, everybody was glued to their man.
Comes over to Goldman, hands it back to Ben Johnson.
And he thought about it.
And remember, Kenny White has just fouled out of this ball game. But they do have Casey in there in the middle, 6'9", 280. Out top, and here's Goldman launching a three off the mark, rebounded by Casey.
He didn't even jump.
He didn't have to. He's 6'9".
You know what this game is? This is the, let's see, how can we describe
Sweet 16. And there is going to be a charge on Casey. He turned around, and as he took his elbow, he should have been called for that earlier in the game.
Irresistible force taking on the unmovable object. Right here, Gary Ball. I just channeled my inner Vince McMahon.
Yes, sir. 63 all here in overtime. Minute 53 to go in the overtime. Lexington Catholic with the leather, working. They give it back to Ben Johnson, and did he step on the sideline? Yes, he did, out of bounds. So you can't do that, Ben. You got to know where you are on the floor. Can't step on the sideline. Right over there in front of Chris Lofton. Minute 45 to go in this one. Comes into Stone. Works it on Goldman. Back over to Parker. Full court press, 2-2-1. Full court press by the Knights. A minute 35 to play in this overtime. We're tied at 63.
This might be you and I's best broadcast together.
Down the lane, Parker up and in. Parker, boy, just hesitated. Kind of took a page out of Ben Johnson's playbook.
Yeah, that nice little hesitation. And
65-63. Johnson out front to the lane. Stops from about 19. Out, battling down low, and it's going to be Catholic basketball. And that looked like it might have gone from up here, William, off of Mr. Smith. No comment, right?
Yeah, well.
Minute 10.
I got to stay with the home team on that one, Gary.
Down low, Ben Johnson gets the basketball. Comes back over now to Goldman, back to Ben Johnson. And the clock just now starts. Minute 2. Ben Johnson down the lane on Casey. Puts it up and in. Boy, what a tough shot. That's 30 for Johnson.
Well, Johnson knows that Casey's going to play him safe right now. He's not going to try to get another foul.
65 all here in the overtime. 47 seconds. Comes over to Parker from Stone. Parker is going to bring it back out, and they're going to run some clock here with 39 seconds.
I think you have to take the last shot here, you know.
34 seconds. Casey sets a pick. Parker down the right side. Puts it up. No. Tapped up. No. And down low. They're battling for it. Coming up. Jump ball called. And possession arrow will give it to the Knights.
Wow. And how about this young man?
Great battle down there. This has been a tremendous. I hope you folks watching, you've had to enjoy this one.
10 Pelfrey, right? Was that Pelfrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pelfrey in there tying that ball up. He got in there with the big fella.
Folks watching this ball game on PrepSpin, high definition. Bobby Eads is in the house. Bobby Eads was my high school JV basketball coach at Boone. He wasn't my varsity coach. That was Jim Garner. God rest his soul. He passed away years ago. But Bob Eads was my JV coach, and he was a great JV coach. He went on to Walton Verona as the head coach, took them to the All-A tournament, and then to Paris High School and took them to the All-A tournament. A great basketball coach and a great umpire. He umpires for the KHSA, and he's had some of the state championships, William. So Bob Eads is in the house. 65 all here in the overtime. This game has not disappointed number 1 and number 2 in the RPI.
Being told that Kathy Carver says Marquise. Yeah, Marquise.
Parker. Well, that's what I've been saying.
Marquise.
That's what I've been saying. So should you have any other comments?
She says doing an outstanding job. Awesome broadcast, Gary Ball.
Parker has 8 points here in the ball game. Johnson has 10 in the second half. It's been good balance by both these ball clubs, particularly Ben Johnson. He's got about half of the Catholic 65 points, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
He'll be a legitimate Mr. Basketball candidate next year when he's a senior. He is an unbelievable talent.
All right, here we go, Gary.
65 all. Kentucky should look at this kid, I think. Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
23 seconds.
Like I said, I mean, he's like Jared Polson, just thicker.
Yeah, you're right. Johnson across the line, gets it up over to Pelfrey. Pelfrey gets it back to Ben Johnson, down to 9 seconds. Working on Parker. Ben Johnson stops and pops from 3. Back of the rim, no. And Catholic, do they get the ball back? Wedding throws it up, no. And then the shot goes
yes!
at the buzzer. Pelfrey grabbed it out of the air.
Oh, my.
Pelfrey grabbed the ball out of the air as it came down and put it in.
Oh, my goodness.
Catholic wins it 67-65. There's no review on that one.
Oh, my goodness. There's no doubt it went in.
What a shot by Pelfrey.
Pelfrey, my goodness.
Unbelievable ball game. Championship of the Traditional Bank Classic goes to Lexington Catholic against Madisonville North Hopkins. I tell you what, it's a good thing they fouled Kenny White out of this ball game, because you know where he would have been. He would have been on the other side there where the ball came. But that was a great, talk about Johnny on the spot. Pelfrey was Johnny on the spot, stuck at home. Bob Eads is heading out.
We need, my goodness.
Do we have the, you want to take a break? What do you want to do, William?
No, we'll keep it right here. We'll keep it here, and then we'll close it out. I got to head to Charlotte here in just a few minutes.
You're going down to the bowl game, and all the folks down there in Charlotte, you enjoyed this ball game. What a game by Lexington Catholic and Madisonville North Hopkins. They were number 1 and number 2 in the RPI polls, and it did not disappoint tonight, did it?
Not at all. What a great.
So Catholic will stay at number 1 in the RPI with the big win over Madison. Boy, this is garnering some RPI points, won't it?
No doubt.
67-65. What a ball game. If we had the ending there, I know you're going to replay it for the Jumbotrons here and for the folks here in attendance, but the all-tournament team.
Yeah, let's listen into this and check this out. My goodness, what a heck of a shot.
What a ball game.
And it's only fitting that you end it that way.
Yep. Lexington Catholic wins it 67-65. Brandon Salzman he's telling the student section here, Brandon Salzman, that they're 11-0. And Ben Johnson.
This is a really, really good
Catholic team. Ben Johnson is your MVP of the 2019 Traditional Bank Classic. MVP. So Ben Johnson. William, let's leave the airwaves tonight with that the end of that ball game, if you don't mind, if we can do that.
Right, yeah, we're gonna watch it again.
67-65 in overtime. Want to take a break?
No. Let's play it so everybody can hear it.
Okay. 67-65. Lexington Catholic goes to 11-0. Madisonville North Hopkins goes to 11-2. Their other loss was to Collins High School, a very good Collins basketball team. Lexington Catholic still undefeated. And
here's the closing minutes of that.
Okay, we're going to play it again. Johnson stops and pops from three. Back of the rim, no. And Catholic, do they get the ball back? Wedding throws it up, no. And then the shot goes at the buzzer. Pelfrey grabbed it out of the air. Pelfrey grabbed the ball out of the air as it came down and put it in.
Oh, my goodness.
Catholic wins it 67-65. There's no review on that one.
Oh, my goodness. There's no doubt it went in.
What a shot by Pelfrey.
My
Catholic. 67-65. A ball game. What a way to end the. Ben Johnson stops and pops from three. Back of the rim, no. And Catholic, do they get the ball back? Wedding throws it up, no. And then the shot goes at the buzzer. Pelfrey grabbed it out of the air. Pelfrey grabbed the ball out of the air as it came down and put it in.
Oh my goodness.
Catholic wins it 67-65. There's no review on that one.
Oh my goodness. There's no doubt it went in.
William Warfield, I think a lot of people enjoyed this one, and a lot of people were watching, a lot of people were texting us. What a ball game here tonight. One of the best regular season games we've done here on PrepSpin in the 5-6 years I've been with you anyway. I mean, there's been some good 11th region tournament games we've done, but I tell you what, the Henry Clay Scott County District game last year comes to mind, but this was a classic because the way it was won and the last second shot and everything by Catholics, and it was Pelfrey who stuck it in there on the left side.
That was one of the best games I think I've ever witnessed, man. Wow.
67-65. You folks might want to go back and watch this one.
Yeah, this is going to live on forever. I mean, it was for the championship of the Traditional Bank Classic, man.
You think ESPN might get a hold of this one for that last second shot there by Pelfrey. But anyway, Williams heading to Charlotte for the Belk Bowl game tomorrow. I'll be watching, and William, great job. Good working with you as always. And we'll be back at it January 7th. We'll have Lexington Catholic right here at home against Lexington Christian. Two of the top scorers in the 11th region be playing in that one. So final score here in overtime, Lexington Catholic 67-65 for Madisonville North Hopkins until next Tuesday with the Lexington Catholic, and they will battle Lexington Christian. This is Gary Ball for William Warfield, the King of Stream. So long on the Mingy Beef Jerky High School Basketball Game of the Week.